cars. I made this entrance that you did enter for VIPs. This is the wall that I built all over. I even built clean bathrooms everywhere. And this is how the visit of the site will be. And the visitor center, Discovery Channel is making a film here. And in the shadow of the pyramid, I built this grand museum. My vision that you can come and stay 3 days. The area between here and the pyramids will be completely free of everything. And we are making a master plan with motels, things for you to see, and you can visit the two sites, the pyramids and the Grand Museum. I was planning, as I told you, to finish the Grand Museum in 2015, but now we hope that this will be finished in 2020. With the money that I brought from King Tut exhibit, I built this storage magazine and the conservation labs. They're larger than any museum in the world. In 1954, the Egyptian government decided to move Ramses II statue to the train station. And the train station was called Ramses Station since 1954. But look what happened to the statue. The bridge, a subway under the ground, and a side pollution. I decided to leave this statue, to move to the Grand Museum. Everyone was afraid to move it. It's 83 tons weight. How you will take it about bridges, it's over 20 miles, 25 miles long at least. But I really, all my life, when I do anything, I do job description. I assign things for everyone. I'm sure that everyone should be correct completely. And this is to show, at 1 in the morning, it was moved, live. Everyone saw it. I was the only one who went home and slept. And this to show how the statue was moved all over the bridges. And this is the time when the statue arrived at 7 in the morning. I left it 300 feet away from the Grand Museum until we can make the base and we can move it. To show the
Perfect. So we saw, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We saw legendary professor archaeologist Zahi Hawass that spoke, as you heard, about big issues concerning the monument of Egypt. He spoke about the monumental, enormous statue of Ramses in Midan Ramses in Cairo, Ramses Square in Cairo, that now will be the attraction of the new Egyptian museum in Giza. The worldwide opening will be on 2020, 2020, 2020 بالعربي. Okay, so we will watch also another part of the conference of Professor Zahi Hawass that he made and he continued to do immensely important initiatives about ancient Egyptian civilization, and now the focus is, of course, the new Egyptian museum in Giza, that in the territory of the pyramids. So this episode is the third episode that we show the huge contribution to the world of legendary Professor Zahi Hawass, but in the same time I continue my story in Egypt that is really unbelievable, I can say, for human being, and maybe believable for spirits. Anyway, we are spirits and we are alive. The border between to be alive and to be spirit is almost not existent. So, anyway, Egypt is the country of the mysteries that are not mystery for somebody, for some privileged souls. And in this episode, we have the introduction of an invisible guest. He's over there in camera 2, and this time is male. Maybe the next time will be female, because he like to transform himself, means he or she never transform himself or herself, but we, like human being, could see some transformation, but really is an entity. And so, like an entity, I called he, like male. He doesn't want to appear, but he asked me some questions sometimes. Now I can invent now a name that could be now no idea. So later I will invent a name for him, appropriate name. Now he welcome all of you. What? Yes. He really is a real person, but nobody can see him except me. Okay, so he will be with us for the episode concerning Egypt. Now, before to continue my story with Egypt, I like to give to you Professor Zahi Hawass again in another important part of his recent conference this was in Cairo, in Mena House Hotel. And so I give to you again Professor Zahi Hawass during this third episode about Egypt.
What happened that day? Music and also VIPs. And I did make a statement saying that I brought Ramses 11 years ago, and I came to see him because I did miss him. And now, about a few months ago, I did a commercial for Ministry of Tourism in front of the statue of Ramses II to tell the people that Egypt is safe. Behind this statue will be 84 statues of kings to receive all investors, all the visitors who will come to the Grand Museum will be behind Ramses II. The site located to the north of Luxor, which is the site of the goddess Hathor. It's called the site of Dendera. Look how the temple was built there. I changed that temple and I cleaned inside all the scenes with black spot, took it out, and I did make a visitor center, a cafeteria for the tourists. Come on, if you did visit before, you'll not believe what you see now. I made it in a way that all the tourists can see it from the water up. And in your exit, I had to make this crocodile museum. That there is no, sometimes the tour guides will be very busy, they won't take you out of something. But I made it in a way that you cannot miss. And it is included the ticket. I think this is again one of the great things that I did. We put the crocodiles as if they are jumping on the Nile. Now I take you to a street also that I hope one day you can come back and see it. It is El Muaz Street. It had 36 monuments. Beautiful. This street was ugly. dirty. Traffic. I stopped the traffic. I made the sewage system. I put lights, everything. I restored most of the monuments here. And even this is a sabil. A sabil in Arabic means a place that at the beginning of Islam they put water for the public to drink. I changed that to be a textile museum. It tells the history of textile from pre-dynastic until today. The other story about Jewish artifacts. We have 9.
So, this is another part of the conference of the Professor Zahi Hawass about the restoration of the monument in Cairo. He spoke now, you saw the last monument that really was a container for water in during the middle Prophet Muhammad time. So I think Prophet Muhammad is 600 year after Christ, Jesus Christ. So this container of water, I think, was later in Middle Age. Okay, so you can see in the area of Cairo, it's called the Saida Zainab, I think. There is one, or El Khan El Khalili. Okay, so anyway, of course, is an area called Old Cairo. Old Cairo included El Khan El Khalili, as I said, Hussein Mosque, Gama El Hussein, and fantastic monument concerning the recent period in Egypt, means like yes, I have in not ancient Egypt, so it's after Prophet Muhammad, so after 600, the year 600 after Jesus Christ. So, the invisible guest is over there, and he asked me to continue for this episode to watch another part of the conference of the Professor Zahi Hawass. So I think I will do that, and so you can enjoy with the other episode. Okay, just a moment, and I will give to you the other part of the episode.
Everyone was afraid to restore them because of the relation between Egypt and Israel. Then everyone was scared. But it happened when I was at the University of Pennsylvania. I was invited to Miami to open an exhibit about the Holy Land. And the man who arranged for the exhibit invited me for his home for dinner. I never liked to take dinner in homes. I like restaurants. But he said to me that his wife is an Egyptian. Then I went. She was an Egyptian Jew. She made a very nice dinner. When I was leaving, she said, Zahi, I lived near a Jewish temple. And that temple is called the Temple of Musa, son of Maymun. He was a physician, and he was near to the heart of the Jews. And that, she told me, the site is garbage now. This is the site of the temple, and this is the doctor, the famous physician, Musa, son of Maymun. She said to me, if you become an important archaeologist and you have the power to please restore this temple. In the first day, when I became the head of Antiquities, I started the restoration of this temple and other temples And this is to show how the temple was restored. And when I finished the restoration, this lady called me crying. She could not believe that I did this. But I made a very important statement. I said that Jewish temples belong to Jewish Egyptians. And churches belongs to Coptic Egyptians. And mosques belong to Muslim Egyptians. All this has to be restored. If you neglect the restoration of this temple, you can lose a big part of your history. And actually, what I did, encourage the other people who came after me to do the same. And I really do encourage them. And that really is very important story that I tell it to the people all over the world. But when I did this debate against some people in antiquities, one American and one English and one Egyptian, and they made something to make the people to hate me. And they made a statement, and you know how, that Zahi Hawass is against Semitic. And I said, how can I be against Semitic? I'm Semitic. And I changed and I restored the Jewish temples. And this is why this is something that I'm very proud of. Even with synagogues, with temples, with churches, I did many monasteries everywhere. This is the best one. It's hanging the church. It was in a bad condition. Look what we did. It is the most beautiful church in the world. If you will go and visit that one, you will cry because of the beauty of that church. And I built next door, renovated the Coptic Museum. It's incredible. And I put some Jewish artifacts in the Coptic Museum. And also at the same time, I built the Islamic Museum. Something incredible. If you see these two museums, you will really appreciate this. And this is the opening with the Pope of Egypt. Now, this is, everyone was a
So, you hear the legendary Professor Zahi Hawass is a legendary because all the world know him about his profession as archaeologist, but not only. He saved a lot of monuments, but he is great also because he speak about the history of Egypt with the four religions. So, pagan until 300 after Christ. You know the matter of the pagan. So Cleopatra 7, that was my ancestor. And then for 300 years after Christ, pagan was in Rome and Greece, in Egypt, in all the ancient world, means Mediterranean area, included Saudi Arabia, included UK, until UK and Saudi Arabia. Then, you know, we have the Christian period, anyway. So the transformation by religion. But before Jesus Christ, of course, there was a Jewish, with the prophet Musa, Moses, of course, in all the language we can call Musa in Arabic, Moses in English, etc. And then we jump on the year almost 600 after Christ with the Muslims. So in Egypt, Egypt is configured, means after the pagan time was Jewish, Christian, and Muslim. So Zahi Hawass, of course, saved all monument, etc., all the piece of arts concerning the three religions. So he restored synagogues, he restored Christian church, Coptic church. So about the Christian in Egypt, there is a Coptic, almost Coptic, Orthodox, and Catholics. Egypt is the land of the three religions. Okay, as we know, Egypt is very generous to host. Means the three religions that are part anyway of the history of Egypt, and Zahi Hawass is pro the three religions, means no differences between Muslim, Christians, and Jewish. Also, you know, in El Quran is written for Muslim, welcome to Christians, etc., etc., and this is for peace. So we are at the conclusion of the third episode about Egypt, and so you can visit anyway my YouTube channel, Count Wardal YouTube channel, and stay tuned. Thank you so much, because you are thousands and thousands in the world, and so now a lot of love to all of you, and stay tuned for the fourth episode of Count Wardal TV show and What is Your Right, and I say hello to the invisible guest too. Thank you so much for your kind attention.